First, I want you to know I'm fine, not because my body is fine, but because my soul is secure in Christ. Death is not the end, it's a promotion. Don't waste 1 second mourning me. I knew the risks of standing up in this cultural moment, and I'd do it all over again. Second, do not let this violence divide us further. The enemy wants chaos, fear, and retaliation. Don't give it to them. Instead, double down on truth. Double down on courage. Double down on your faith and on your families. That is how you honor me. Third, remember this. America is worth it. Free speech is worth it. Fighting for the unborn, for families, for sanity in a culture gone mad, it is all worth it. So dry your tears, pick up your cross, and get back in the fight. Do it with joy, do it with strength, and never ever let evil think it won.
Aloha, Michelle Melendez here on Big Island with Blossom Inner Wellness and StandTogetherHawaii.com. So much happening, Charlie Kirk assassination and everything, and I wanted to show some very questionable things because I love how people ask questions. You know, I believe that they want us to be in a civil war. I really do. And I really hope that people stay away from any more violence, that we start to really question this narrative. So I am doing a chapter in my book, The Death of Freedom, and part of it is government symbols. So I'm going to share what I believe this is one of the governors was talking about, waiting to see when they would find the gunman. And the amount of hours he waited is very curious. So this is from Hustle. And let me just share my screen and share the sound so you guys can see for yourself. And also the other thing too is I want to share is watch Kash Patel's left eye. What's going on with that? That may be nothing. Maybe he's just tired. But I just found that interesting because there's a lot of symbology that happens and people are not aware of it. So anyway, here we go. This goes to 124.
You know, this bad stuff happens. And for 33 hours.
33 hours. Isn't that an interesting number? 33 hours. Just thought that was very interesting.
I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for. Just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here.
I don't know how it would have made a difference to Charlie's family or fans if the shooter were from any other state, but...
So now let's see what Kash has to say. You know, this is the director of the FBI, right? So he should have something interesting to say, don't you think? So let's see what he has to say. And here we go.
This to say.
The arrest is a testament to dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. To my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Okay, so let's see. So the FBI weren't the ones that caught him. His dad brought him in. So he's saying how, again, another point where they're complimenting themselves and they did nothing to find this guy. I mean, I'm sure they did stuff, but they're not the ones that brought him in. And then he says to Charlie Kirk, his friend, not thank you for being amazing, thank you for being an American hero, thank you for being a patriot and courageously always speaking your truth, rest well. He just says, rest well. Not thank you, brother. Thank you for all your courage. Thank you for your tirelessly going around the country speaking to thousands. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't say thank you at all. It says rest well, like it's over. It's over. Rest well. Thanks, y'all. See you. What the heck? So let's keep going because I find this again interesting. We're going to talk about Trump now. And here's Trump
situation.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America.
Then why is he suddenly trying to move past this tragedy as if it never even happened? I mean, surely you have noticed how he changed the conversation whenever Charlie is mentioned.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie. How are you holding up over the last 3.5 years, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
Look, I'm not
So I'm very good. I'm very good. And look over here with this construction. Look over here, everybody. Distraction, distraction. What the heck? So the hustle guy was like saying maybe he's saying that because he doesn't want to incite more violence. I could agree with that. But how about just one where he's going to be missed? He was an American hero. You know, a little bit, something thrown Charlie Kirk's way about saying that what happened was not okay, and that Charlie was an American hero. He was absolutely an American hero. So, but he says nothing, does nothing. People celebrating this death, you guys, I want to believe that that's a low percentage of the people, because the media always wants to show us the worst of people. They always want to show us the worst of people so we can keep that in our imagination and we can stay separated. But I honestly don't think that that is a ton of people. And I'm saying that, one, because I want to believe it, and because that's horrific. And then they're also saying that some people are saying, or what I'm hearing, that there's going to try to be a retaliation. I think that's from limited people, you guys. I think that is trying to incite violence. I don't think that's everybody. I don't think that that's what's going down here. So let me show you guys a few other things. And yeah, this guy is amazing. Let's see what he has to say.
Let me say one thing that's true. You and that weird uncle that you argue with at Thanksgiving, you're not enemies. You're both being played. You're both being manipulated. And the second that you realize that, the second that you look across the aisle and see a fellow human being instead of some caricature cartoon, is the moment that the scam starts to collapse. Let me be crystal clear about one thing. The real enemy isn't your Democrat neighbor with the yard sign that pisses you off. It's not your Republican uncle who posts stupid memes on Facebook. The real enemy is entrenched power. And it's an entrenched power that thrives on one piece of fuel, and that fuel is chaos. The real enemy is those people who profit when you are divided and distracted, and most importantly, when you are dehumanizing your fellow Americans. This was never about left versus right. It was always about the people versus the powerful.
Yep, absolutely. Abs 100%, you guys. So I just want to also say a couple other things around this. One, did you know let's look at the people who, a lone gunman, again. Lone gunman did this. All right? I don't think so. Okay? Abraham Lincoln, lone gunman. James Garfield, lone gunman. William McKinley, John F. Kennedy, Dr. Martin Luther King, Robert F. Kennedy, Harvey Milk. So the list goes on. John Lennon, lone gunmen. They just all of a sudden decided to go and do these heinous, heinous acts. You know, MK Ultra, mind control, which the CIA has been working with since, I believe, the 60s. I believe it's the 60s, might have been the 50s. But they have a lot of ability to create the narrative the way they want, to try to guide people in the direction that they want to go, right? We know that. This lone gunman BS. Absolutely not. I don't believe it one bit. But what I do believe in, and let me put in my better mic. This maybe sound a little bit better. What I do believe in is the great power, the infinite creator of love. Stay focused on what we want, which is peace. This was an assassination. This was an attack on the American people, on a beautiful man. My heart goes out to his family. I hope that when the wife's heart starts to mend, that she starts to speak out, because there's something about feminine energy right now that was really needed in the world, a soft feminine energy. If she starts going out, that would show everybody peace. That would show strength. You know, when she's ready to do that, I hope that maybe she considers that, because that would really, really make a very bold statement. Very bold. You know, this was a man, Charlie Kirk, who could have been president of the United States. He was on the trajectory for that. And he was a good man, really good and smart. And it is a tragedy. And the way they did it was such kind of a 9/11 fashion of absolute trauma for thousands of people. I mean, live campus, you know, absolute trauma again, because that's where they'd like to put us, in trauma and fear and anger, confusion, frustration, all of it. And so let's not let them have that. Let's not let them have that. Let's look at this as a very sad attack, and let's not give them what they want, which is division, more anger, more hatred. They're not gangs. We don't retaliate. We are men and women with unalienable rights under the divine creator. So let's act that way. Let's move on, and let's do what is right from our hearts, not with violence. And I wanted to put that out there. And those of you who are celebrating, I really think either one, you're not human, you're like some type of demon, or you're under a lot of medication, or you've had something that isn't natural put into the blood, and my heart goes out to you. Unless you're a clone or you're a demon or something, then you know what? Your time's up. All right, everybody, let's do a quick prayer. Infinite Creator, Great Spirit of all things. It's so easy to go toward anger and hatred, and I know that. I've had anger in my heart most of my life. So, Great Spirit, I just ask that those people who are angry, that they just find a little bit of peace in their heart, a spark of hope, a spark of love, a spark of connection with another living soul that matters, because we all matter. And Great Spirit, anybody who is celebrating such a tragic event of life, loss of a father, loss of a husband, loss of a friend, that their hearts awaken them to see the truth. I've seen videos of Democrats saying, "What is going on?" And that is such a beautiful thing. That is the awakening right there, questioning things. What is going on? I do not consent. I do not agree. This one person was saying that it's their party, their Democratic Party, and they're going, "What are you doing?" Great Spirit, that is the flood of emotional expansion that this tragedy is bringing about. Emotional expansion toward peace, toward doing what is right. We call that forth right now, Great Spirit. And we hold Charlie Kirk's wife and family and friends in our hearts, that the nation and the world are with them, and that we stand for what Charlie stood for, which is freedom, peace, coming together, being kind, being respectful. We call that forth right now. And anyone who would incite violence, we wrap them with the Christ consciousness of unconditional love and the spirit of aloha, that their hearts be turned to doing what is right, or they are peaceably removed from harming anybody. We call forth all angels to do this, that any violence that would be incited from this on either side of the parties, when we are all one human race, that peace be in its place. We call that forth now. We know it is done. And so it is. Sending you and your ohana so much aloha from the Big Island. I am writing my book, The Death of Freedom, how the American dream dies and how to save it. And you can pre-order it right now. I'm working on it every single day, getting it done. And I'm looking at hopefully a very special person, asking them today, actually, if they will do a foreword for my book. And you will know who this person is. I hope he says yes. And yep, I'll let you know once I get a reply. So actually, I'll wait a little bit until the book is ready. All right, you guys, much aloha from the Big Island.